What's up, y'all? Jammer, Fish Bladder Woodworking. Today, I want to have a conversation surrounding comparison to P.A.P.Rs that are out here on the market. So when I first started looking into these P.A.P.Rs, I did a deep dive and I came up on the other end with some understanding of how these P.A.P.Rs are categorized and the difference between them. So if you don't know, in my opinion, there's three categories of distinct types of P.A.P.Rs. You have the ones that are waist mounted, but then the connection is at the mouth, right? So that's the lower end. You can find these for very cheap. Then you have the ones that are, in my opinion, a step above. These are going to be like the Trend air shields. These are going to be the ones where you have a face shield, you have the blower and the filtration system all built into the helmet. This is kind of the mid-level. This is the entry point. It's a very good option for people that is not going to be bothered by the additional weight that you'll have from having all those components on the head. Then you have the highest end category. This is where ours falls in terms of how it's formed in the function of it, which is when you have a helmet where the intake is at the back so the hose is not in your way when you're doing work, and the actual blower and the filter is mounted on your waist, right? And so those are the three major categories, and for us, we want you guys to get what makes the most sense. From a cost perspective, a lot of P.A.P.Rs that are like this style of P.A.P.R, they start at about $1,200 and go up to crazy numbers for whatever reason. We're kind of in that mid-ground price range, but we feel as though we're offering one of the higher end level features in terms of having all of the features that I just described. Are we rolling? Yeah. So key features of our P.A.P.R. So our P.A.P.R, our key features are waist mounted blower, face shield, lots of vision. They have a name for this. A large area of view, blower and filtration unit, replaceable filter, as well as replaceable battery. And when I say replaceable battery, I mean you can take the battery off and charge it while you have a fresh battery on. Some of the units have batteries that are built in. This is something that you can take the battery on and off, so that's a key feature. The actual blower itself has alerts and alarms, so if you have restrictive airflow through the filter, it'll actually be an audible alarm and a flashing icon that'll let you know you have to change the filter. So it's surprisingly well built, and it has a lot of bells and whistles that you wouldn't imagine something at this price point would have, but it actually does have it. The air intake is at the back of the head, not at the front of the face like on a lot of the lower end. So the air is blowing up through here, it's coming down on the inside of the helmet and cascading over in front of your mask, which reduces fog. That's a big feature. So a lot of the higher end units have this exact configuration. You have a blower unit mounted on your waist, you have a hose that goes to the back of the head, and you have air that goes over the top of the helmet and then down over the mask on the inside. And we offer the same configuration at half the price. I think our unit has a total weight, god damn it, I don't want to make claims that aren't there. So in terms of weight, if you're wondering about the weight, this is light, it's all plastic. This is actually very light, but I can only imagine that if this was on top of this, that would be something that's a little bit more problematic. But I think that as P.A.P.R goes, the materials that they're using, they're generally very lightweight, right? So I'm not gonna give you exact numbers. The breathing thing is exactly this, right? The helmet weighs this and the blower unit weighs this. Do we have a skizzy? So this thing could be used for anything. This thing could be used, I use this thing when I'm cutting concrete. I use this thing when I'm drilling and grinding metal. Anytime where there's gonna be something dustboard, even when I'm grinding and I'm sharpening blades on my grinder, I throw it on. Anytime there's any type of airborne anything, I'm gonna be rocking my breathy thingy. And I think that I would love for people to hit the comments. If you have one, tell me what your experience is. A big part of what we wanna do is we wanna create a community of people that is sharing their experience with the breathy thingy and also comparing the breathy thingy to the other units that are out here on the market. So this is not a P.A.P.R that I would imagine people in the medical field would use. I see a lot of these more expensive ones. Maybe they have special certifications that they use in the medical field. This is not something that we would even begin to try to say you should use in a hospital. This is a glorified dust mask. That's how we describe it. It's self-described in-house by our team as a glorified dust mask. This is something that if you normally wear a dust mask or if you have a respirator, this is a respirator that functions in that way. And very specifically, if you don't know, if you wear respirators for prolonged periods of time, what winds up happening is you get fatigue from breathing and pulling all of the purified air through a filter, right? And so what this does, this eliminates your lungs doing the work of pulling clean air through a filter, and has a fan motor that pulls air through the filter, filters the air, and then feeds it to your face. So when you're wearing the helmet, you just have access to filtered air, which is the big difference between P.A.P.Rs and dust masks or even respirators that aren't powered. cleaning and maintenance. So for me, cleaning and maintenance is just about wiping the unit down, blowing it off, and then when I'm actually rocking it, if I get the clogged filter alarm, I can blow compressed air through here and I can clean it from the outside. And if I felt so compelled to do a thorough cleaning, I can open it up, blow through this side out, and then I can take out the filter and clean the pleated filter that we have in here. So cleaning and maintenance is kind of straightforward. Wipe it down, keep it clean to whatever level you feel comfortable. Sometimes I use alcohol to wipe off the visor just to make sure it's crystal clear as possible. In order to remember that we sell replacement visors, www.fishbladderwoodworking.com. So in conclusion, if you're in the market for a P.A.P.R, if cost is no option, and I can't confirm, but I would say that there's a reason why the higher end units cost the way they cost. If cost is an option, if you're budget constrained and you want something that you see in the higher end unit, our offering seems kind of perfect. Like in my world, if you ask me if I want a VersaFlow or one of these breathy thingies, I'd probably take a VersaFlow just based on the fact that it costs twice as much. But if you ask me if I want two breathy thingies or one VersaFlow, I'm gonna take two breathy thingies. That means something. I don't know how you would compartmentalize that and put it into a framework where it would give you some level of understanding. But we really believe that our unit exists in the middle ground in terms of price, but closer to the high end in terms of feature and design, right? So that's a big part of it. So to summarize, we don't want you to buy this if it doesn't make sense to you. If money is the primary thing, you might want to go with one of the lower end options where you have the connection at the front. If weight on the head is not an option, then you might want to go with a Trend Air Shield or something that has all of the motor and equipment that's built onto the helmet. But once you enter into the realm of what standard P.A.P.Rs usually look like, you have a waist mounted blower, you have an intake at the back of the head, and the positive pressure that you normally associate with P.A.P.Rs. Kind of hard to beat what we're offering. You know, the breathy thingy seems to make a lot of sense. I'm the horrible business person, but I'm a decent person in my opinion. So I don't want you to have this unit if this unit doesn't make sense to you. I don't want to sell you something that's inferior to something in the same price category. So this is what it is. This is who we are. Fish Bladder Woodworking. Check us out, www.fishbladderwoodworking.com.